No, I am not signing into this thing. I'm sorry.
There he is in the playpen.
Shut your fucking mouth when you're talking to me right now.
Right on time. Right as we're about to go. Right as we're about to go live.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
about to fucking go. You shut up.
For real, DD's a stud.
Yes, indeedy.
Stupid.
Oh, Susan.
Blow it outside, just like I like it.
That's a pretty big fish to fry. That's a pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. My. That's a pretty big fish to fry. That's a pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. Last weekend I barely thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take time and give the world a try. I wasn't alive. My, oh, my.
Oh, everybody, it is Wednesday, April the 25th. For those of you checking us out live, Facebook Live, coming to you on a fine Tuesday night. It is April the 24th, roughly 8:20 in the evening. Welcome to Low and Outside, lowandoutside.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, all the other socials. We are the #1 rated sports and beer podcast coming to you from a couple states throughout this country.
Yep.
And full disclosure, haven't used that one in a while.
Actually, not a couple states, you fucking dummy.
You're in Maryland.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Suck it. Full disclosure, haven't used that in a while. There are some shows when we come on here and there's not a whole lot to talk about. Tonight is absolutely not one of those shows. We have a jam-packed show ready to go. Let's waste no time.
Why don't you go back home to your street malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh yeah! The greatest beer in all the Simply from the bar.
Yeah, I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of parched. Stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge.
So a couple weeks ago, I went with some of my friends at work to the Devil game, as I had shared with you guys, and spread the news of this podcast. Got a couple new listeners, and one of my buddies, Chris, said that his friends go away on a trip once a year and grab all sorts, or a couple times a year, and grab all sorts of beer, and beer, like different kinds of beer, is lost on him. So I reap the benefits of his friends going and grabbing the beer. So tonight I'm drinking from Motorworks Brewing. It is a grapefruit IPA called Pulp Friction.
I've seen that porn.
Say what again? I dare you. I double dog dare you.
Where is that brewery?
I don't know. Florida somewhere.
Yeah, I think I've had that beer.
It's pretty good.
I think I had it when I went down. Sorry, I know it's yours. I'm not trying to interrupt.
No,
but
go ahead.
just
Go
saying.
ahead. No,
Snob.
I never knew they could make a beer that tasted like the movie Pulp Fiction.
It tastes a lot like grapefruit. It's good. It's like my willing of the warm weather to stay right here. With this.
I did have it, Jeff. I had it on August 20th, 2017, and I said if Ruby Red and an IPA had a baby.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. And I like Ruby Red, so I'm in. Go ahead, Denville. Bubby, what do you got?
Is it too early for me to say Didi for MVP?
No, indeedy.
Early
Okay.
in the show, maybe. Might
Yeah.
be too early in the show. Yeah.
So I went. I'm still going through my other half stuff. So this is Citra and Azaka.
What the hell is that?
Surprise, still a Imperial IPA.
What is the name?
Citra. Well, it's a type of hops. So Citra and Azaka. Azacca.
What
I
is
think you're putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong
I'm-
syllable.
I might be.
Ballast Point.
what
The
is
last point.
The Zacca. The Zacca is not a hops. A brand of hops, right?
I think it is. I've always taken it as to be a form of hops when they do those.
Oh, right.
Pretty
but-
sure people don't drink those beers wearing Balthasar t-shirts, but that's just me.
Is there a problem with that, or
No,
Is
I
that
just
like-
think you're kind of bougie.
oh, okay. Well,
Bad and bougie.
Is it any good?
oh, it's delicious, as is all their stuff. So I review other half all the time. I tell you how much.
What does it
I
check
love
in at?
It's 8.5.
Oh, so it's a heavy. All right.
Yeah.
Maryland.
I first of all, I'm just angry today. So what else is new? Sorry. I didn't even know where I lived, for crying out loud. I'm accusatory. I'm a dick. I'm drinking Founders All Day IPA, one of my favorites. Good brewery out of Michigan. So that's
That
what I'm
is-
drinking.
That is definitely one of those reliables that when it's in your fridge, you're
Yeah. Oh yeah. I bought a 6-pack the other day. I didn't take an Uber. I drove.
How'd that go?
It was a little dicey. I can't move the one arm too well, so if anyone starts swerving, I get a little nervous.
I'm sure
But
that's
anyway. I also like this beer because it has the car that I'm going to buy for no reason whatsoever, a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. But
I can totally see you buying that one day,
I'm totally getting it. I've been scouring Craigslist, but
and just like exclusively using it on road trips.
like long distance,
Yep. it
not meant to
stays-
be driven long distance, but I will drive it long distances.
Yeah, I can see it.
sounds good. Parsippany, Nikki.
I've got some Rutgers bathwater.
No, I took a nice trip over to Magnify this weekend. Got lost in a maze IPA. Orgasm. Oh,
at
absolutely in my
you.
mouth.
It looks
Great.
unfiltered. Jesus, criminy.
What is the name of
Look
it?
at that color. Lost in a maze. IPA, 6% alcohol.
That one flew right off the tongue right there.
Can somebody send me some Magnify? I totally I missed my opportunity here when they were with Aslan. I really want some.
That's a Brett Paul.
I can send you some. Yes.
Or I,
Sorry.
I could come
I know
home.
you brought that up in a text thread, and I did not address it. I apologize. I'm addressing it on air. So yes,
fine.
I will send you some.
I'll bring you some Aslan.
Okay. Sounds fair.
We'll meet in Camden.
That's all right. Jeff and I live like
meet at a Cape May brewery.
50 minutes from each other. Jeff's had bottles from me for like months. So
Well, when Nikki comes down, Nikki has written on his blog. For those of you that are fans of fine cooking, you can check out SaucySavings.com. Nikki wrote on his blog that he's going to head down to Kane and hit their tap room. So when he does that, maybe we can Dave can take the ride up and we can meet down there and
And
I
who knows?
actually wanna hang out
9
with
months later, a kid might come out.
we'll do a live show from there.
okay, I'm in.
All right, let's go.
Who cares?
Nikki, you put most of these in there, so I'm gonna let you steer.
Yeah, I saw this one's for you, Jeff. I saw Mike Woodson's name floating around the Knicks coaching vacancy. What do you think about that?
So let me ask you this: when you saw this, your expectation that my reaction was going to be what?
I wanted you to flip your headset off and just start going on a tangent about how much you hate the Knicks organization. Maybe start blowing pop a blood vessel.
That's not happening. Not happening. I think it's dumb. But out of the people that they could hire, I don't think he's the worst possible hire. He's the only guy in the last 15 years that's had success.
Mike D'Antoni was pretty decent, no?
No, he was trash.
Larry Brown.
He was so bad they got rid of him and they brought Woodson in to be like his defensive coordinator. And then when they fired D'Antoni, they put Woodson in and the team played hard. That was the team that had Jason Kidd that was essentially coaching them. The only issue I don't have an issue with Mike Woodson. The only issue I have with the Knicks right now is they like unceremoniously dismissed even speaking to Jeff Van Gundy, which I think is nonsense.
That was amazing. Like he was the first one they ruled out, and he would be the only one.
Yeah,
I would
he's like,
want.
wait, nope.
There's only one thing left to do, Jeff.
What's that?
Win the whole fucking thing.
Nah, I think he means this.
Who cares? Thank you.
John Tortorella guaranteed a Game 7 for Columbus after they were up 2-0.
Torts.
and went down 3-2, guaranteed a game 7. Then they lost last night to Washington, so now he's out. Maybe a nice reunion with the Rangers.
You know, I will say, and Brett, feel free to chime in. I
Oh, I
feel
will.
like there's not a lot of coaches amongst sports. Maybe I'm just blanking, but there are a lot of coaches or managers that are this like polarizing. Like I truly hate John
Rex
Tortorella.
Ryan.
Rex was another one for me. Yeah.
John Tortorella. I mean, I guess Belichick elicits that kind of reaction from certain people, but this guy Tortorella, he's a fucking knucklehead.
Yeah, but Tortorella doesn't have the resume that Belichick has.
Okay, but I'm not comparing resumes. I'm just
You hated Rex Ryan, Nick.
Of course, yeah.
You hated him, Brett.
Absolutely. As
Why?
a coach, yes. Like, would I also
When he was
take
on the
him-
Jets and they were good and stuff, I couldn't stand him.
would I take him on my team as a defensive coordinator? Yes, as well. But I against him, I couldn't stand him.
Right, of course.
But did you? I mean, because you have the ability to hate Tortorella too, but it's not the same feeling, is it?
It's pretty comparable.
I did hate Tortorella.
Yeah.
That playoff run, and he was such a prick, and all this stuff that he said to the
All
media
those
about the
fucking press
Devils.
conferences
Oh
when
man,
he
he's
was
such
like,
a
no.
jackass.
all the press conferences where he was giving like one word answers. No,
He
Yes.
was
Hey Brooksy, you want to fight Brooksy?
I
You
kind
want
of
to
like
fight Larry Brooks?
I think it's the type of thing where it would be if you're playing against him, you hate him, and then if he was your guy and he was giving those answers to the media, it's kind of like Popovich. Like you're probably like, nah, I can ride with that.
Popovic.
you know, it was,
I can help with the Popovich thing.
All right, I don't want to get sidetracked. But by the way, Rex Ryan had me at let's go get a goddamn snack. I thought the guy was amazing.
Good point. Good point.
Mike's back on the fan, maybe?
probably.
Mike's on. He's ready to go on the fan. New York Sports Radio. Mike's on. Mike's on.
From the Chris Maggie and Bot Studios here in the Manhattan. It's Mike Francesa. I come back on the fan. It's Monday, 3 o'clock.
Here's the McMahon.
There's one thing we never talk about that I think needs to be addressed here.
What's that? Diet
What
Coke?
is that fucking god for awful saken jingle? It's fucking 2018.
I like how they had the Mike and the Mad Dog one, and then they just basically it's the same song.
It's
It's the
ridiculous.
same song, except for
Mike's on sports radio.
It's like opera music.
It's fucking stupid.
this has got to be the biggest DB move since Leno, right? I mean, it's
I would say
That's
so.
exactly what it is, right? That's exactly what it is. It was. I texted you guys. I wish you guys listened to Kay today. It was.
I did.
amazing.
He was hysterical.
He was just needling him all of them were. It
Yeah,
just
Rosenberg was doing a good job too.
Yeah, small opportunity they could get in to make a reference to them threatening to retire for good, permanently, never come back, no matter what, ever, never. And it was really good. It was really funny. But this is, oh God, who looks more like an asshole, Francesa or the fan?
The fan.
The
That-
fan does. The fan looks more like an asshole.
Even the fact that this guy could not find a job. Like
Yeah, no,
nobody would pay
Nothing
him.
that would match his salary requirements of $4 million a year or whatever the hell he wanted.
I don't think that he couldn't find a job.
Really, because like you can make a ton of money off podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, and if you
He
don't
also
want to
does
be on the
Simmons'
radio,
podcasts.
exactly, you just do a podcast. So it's not like the technology is not there for him to sit in his house.
Can
and
we
do this.
Can we make money on this podcast?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
We
you
are.
guys- you haven't been getting the checks.
Oh no.
Wow, what a dick, Jeff.
Oh.
I kind of liken him and his solo fucking garbage show to Chad Dukes down here because like Chad Dukes does his afternoon drive by himself, and these guys just get all high and mighty and they pontificate for 5 hours. They just end up being so full of themselves. It's ridiculous.
Could you imagine Mike coming back and then just having like the next 5 weeks of just people welcoming me back on the show, just people calling in?
Those same morons that are like, oh, I listened to you with my son, and blah, blah, blah. I'm really gonna miss you. And then, listen, welcome back. We missed you. You know, it was not.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like freaking like a month and a half without him.
It's another year of Francesa cons, and just in time for Francesa to go down to Bar A this summer.
Oh yeah, perfect, Jeff.
Just yuck. Like seriously, the average weight of people in Bar A in the summer is got to be at least 265.
That's a pretty muscular 265.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's DJ's.
No,
I'm sitting there. 5 o'clock happy hour.
I'm talking for the Francesicon down there.
Oh, of course. I've got.
It's like a buffet of like ribs and sausage and
Oh
pepper.
my god.
And it's just a bunch of slobs with freaking barbecue sauce all over their face and a
If-
lightener.
You should give them all your wife's number.
If Francesa couldn't find a job, or if Francesa was just kind of like hanging and he wasn't really interested in anything, and the fan approached him and said, "We need you back," if I were him, I'd be like, "I'm done. I'm fucking done. We did this whole rigmarole. We did this whole goodbye tour. I'm done." Like
No,
I would
his-
want to
his
save my
ego's
own
too
face.
big. His ego is too big.
You're
His
not.
ego is too big.
You're not him. Like he's a bad guy. like that's the bottom line. As soon as he started taking pot shots on the 3 people that went in there, one of which used to work for him. Carlin used to work for him.
Yeah, they are pretty
right?
awful. I'm just gonna
They
say
are, but why do you have to be a
pretty
dick?
terrible.
Why do you gotta be a dick?
Listen,
Yeah,
not
I
everybody
get it.
can be this show. You know what I mean? And just click right off the bat. I mean,
Fair.
give him a little bit
Right,
of
Paul?
time. You know what I mean?
They're just, you know, what's weird though, Jeff. It's not even the fact that like I hear their chemistry and and I think it's bad. They're not very good at talking about sports.
No, they're
Like their opinions are pretty awful.
Because Bart Scott tries to talk about the Mets rotation. He has no idea.
Exactly. But even the things Bart Scott doesn't. Today he was talking about he doesn't care about quarterbacks' concussion histories. Josh Rosen doesn't care about his concussions because it doesn't really mean anything because they didn't occur close to each other.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Scott.
What are you talking about, dude?
Can't wait.
So I don't know. I just don't think they're a good match. I think the fan kind of got caught with their pants down, especially after Carton fleeced them.
Listen,
I really wanted Kim Jones in that slot. I think she's great.
Me too.
I'm out. There was no reason for the fan to be caught with their pants down. This guy said he was leaving
Yes. No,
Like,
but
18 months ago.
literally before my kid was born.
it wasn't just that.
By the
though.
way, no more fan.
My kid's
You had
almost
to realize that like you had to admit they didn't see losing half of their big morning show, and that put them in a tight spot too. And they were I don't think you're 100% right, but as soon as it happened, they went right to Frances and they were like, you got to stay.
I want $4 more million a year.
You have to stay here. And he was still in the middle of his like, I'm leaving. So
I'm number one. Yeah,
I want to. No, they wanted to cut his hours, but he wanted to raise simultaneously.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't think so.
yeah.
The only way this works is if Dog's coming back with them.
That'd be great.
And then you simulcast the show on Sirius through whatever stupid Mad Dog radio thing that he's doing.
And intentional talk.
No,
High
it
heat.
works because legitimately, it's not number one. I haven't actually listened to that guy like hardcore since really Dog was there. I'm a Michael K guy in the afternoon. I just am, and that's fine. But I can't imagine that in the time that's elapsed since he left, that people wouldn't switch back for the first week to see what he sounded like and then continue to try to find something that's more entertaining, because this show stinks. He's not good.
it's 5.5 hours of him just fucking talking about his Diet Coke.
And taking calls,
Yelling at people. Just talking over every single call.
except when they compliment him.
Yeah. Anybody that, God forbid, challenges that man's opinion on anything, he doesn't know how to debate. It's fascinating to me that he has a job.
He stinks on ice.
You know what the best? Yeah, I know.
We're really running over here with this.
No, hold on, real quick. The best format for a show, I think, is really end up being a TV show that they could use on radio, where you got like, basically, pardon the interruption, right? And Tony Reale's Stat Boy, that kind of format with 2 people going at it, spitting shit off, and then having one guy like, okay, you lied about this, you're wrong about this, and like that's a good little format. I like that format.
The best format is 4 guys and 1 guy from DC.
Yeah, I agree. With
There
beer.
it is.
With beer.
Fuck off.
This one's yours, Des Bryant, right? He wants revenge on the Cowboys.
Yeah, he says he wants to play them twice a year.
You got to be excited for this, Dave, right?
I mean, I guess he's limiting his options.
Only 3 teams left.
I feel like the Redskins are
Yep.
this is the classic Redskins move here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, here's why you're excited, Dave, because he's gonna be in DC.
I can't wait to hang out with him at nowhere.
I can tell you one place he's definitely not going to be. He's
My
not
house.
going to be in Philly.
No, they don't
No.
need that kind of
no way.
nuisance.
But I could
No, and the Giants aren't going to spend money on him, and although I was interesting about the cutting Brandon Marshall as late as he did, but then I think I found out he didn't pass his physical, so that makes sense. But
Or
who
so
fucking
they
cares? This is Dan Snyder special. He'll be here in Washington because that's the biggest rivalry, and that's what he is. That's who he is.
He'll sell tickets.
Exactly.
Who's the idiot quarterback there now? Alex Smith, the Alex
Yeah.
Smith to
They
Des-
just signed to a giant
He
extension.
got a 5-year monster deal.
Why not pay that to Kirk Cousins?
Well, because Kirk is all guaranteed.
freaking Redskins, man.
Kirk Cousins, the man who robbed the NFL.
The Redskins are like just the classic case for me of like, it could be worse.
Who cares?
Matt Harvey's going to the Pen.
Yep.
The matter.
Matt Harvey moved to the bullpen. Did you see his face when he was sitting with the bullpen people?
No, I
He
didn't.
looked like he wanted to gouge his own eyes out.
It's hard when there's no Mets fans here to defend him.
I still love everything about it. It's great to just watch Met fans. This guy was it. He was the savior of New York.
The Dark Knight.
It was a dark night. It was Harvey Day.
It's
every
a dark
time he
night.
pitched.
It's a dark night in Nick's basement with that fucking college collage behind him. Stupid. Get rid of that.
You're trying to tell me that you didn't have one of those?
Yeah, but I graduated. Oh, you got me. Who cares?
It's been so long.
It has been a long time. I normally just fucking learn to lock it up at the end of the segment.
Listen, it is time to move on to the NFL mock draft. On our part there, we got a couple of guys here. We got between Yampo, Nick, and I. We're gonna break down our top 10. Brett is gonna moderate. No idea how this is gonna go.
Did you use the app?
I did.
Yeah.
Nicky didn't.
I clicked on it because I got to moderate this because I'm the moderator. I don't know if I told you.
What does that entail exactly? We're not sure, but
And Dave, if you think I'm signing up for this, then you're insane. So
I think there's a kickback for it for Dave.
I did not.
I can assure you there's no kickback. I also get to a point where I hit like 16 and below, and I don't know who to put in the spot.
No, we're
All
doing.
right. Well, we're doing top
just
10.
top 10. That's
Okay.
it. We're cutting
So
off
I
at
know. I'm just talking about the one I got going for money.
Oh yeah, of
let
course.
me interject here, okay, guys. We got a lot to get through. We got a lot to break down. As we know, the draft is one of my personal favorite times of year. A lot to talk about. This is a time when you look to begin anew, take a step in a right direction towards winning and towards that ultimate goal of the Super Bowl. So right now we have a ton of quarterbacks in this draft. We don't know where they're going to go, and that's kind of why I'm leaning on you guys to kind of walk me through this. We don't know. There's a big question right now in Cleveland. Are they going to take a quarterback? Are they going to take Saquon Barkley? So let's break down the first couple picks, and then we'll move to the back end.
Hold on. Who are you doing a coin flip for the who gets to go first?
What does it matter?
Okay. Yep. I just flipped a coin, and it said Jeff. So here's how we're going to do it.
Wait, the coin said Jeff?
Yeah, the coin said
Inside the
Jeff.
coin.
This is the currency of Coviello?
Yeah.
Fuck.
So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do
Value
you
list.
guys think it's better if we do our list or we break down the round,
you just
round
go-
by round?
No,
Let's
go,
go
no.
pick by pick.
Everyone does their
Okay.
first pick, then everyone does their second pick.
All right, good. Because that's
All
the
right,
way I was
hold
gonna
on.
do it. I'm the moderator. I moderate.
All right,
Okay,
Brett,
hold
bro.
on.
For those of you listening, this is a little bit of peek about how little we prepare. So go ahead. I guess pick one. You want me to start? What's
Okay. So
Peyton Manning?
here's how we're going to do it. It's going to go Jeff. The draft is going to go Jeff, Nick, Dave, and then we're going to snake back for round
Oh,
two.
snake.
It's gonna
Oh,
go
very good
Dave,
snake.
Nick, Jeff.
For
And
those
then
of you
Jeff,
who don't know how a
Dave,
snake
Dave,
works, stop listening.
Okay.
And I'm always in the middle. Like I like.
So Jeff, round one, pick one. Your number one overall draft pick this year.
With the first pick in the NFL draft, the Cleveland Browns select Josh Allen, quarterback. Wyoming.
Okay. So you've got Allen. What is it about you that attracted Allen to Cleveland?
I think the fact that you've got the right offensive coordinator there that can mold a quarterback of Allen's stature. He reminds me a lot of Roethlisberger.
How bad did you want to say pedigree right there?
I didn't, otherwise I would have. And I just think it makes sense. I think he's a little bit of a project, but I think his upside is very high. I think that's where Cleveland goes with the
Okay, before we move on to Jeff, is there anything about Allen himself that differentiated him from the rest of the quarterbacks in there? Because there's a wealth of quarterbacks in
For
this
me,
group. Yes, for you personally.
I think he's the closest to the Roethlisberger type. And I think that's why they go there.
Okay, Nick, round one, pick one. Cleveland selects
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold out of USC. Now, does that trouble you at all? This, we know the history with USC quarterbacks.
No, I think he'll debunk that myth. I think
They're
he's
all bums.
he has the highest floor. So I think that out of all the guys there's the chance for him to be a bust is the least. I think his father was a firefighter. That's a big plus if you want to play in Cleveland. He's very gritty, blue collar. He'll be fine.
Okay, so you see him as the safest play, and that's kind of what
I think
Cleveland
so.
needs to do right now is be safe with the first pick.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay, pick 1, round 1. Dave, Cleveland selects.
Josh Allen,
Wow, look at you. You and Jeff agreeing. Now, Jeff, told us
which is unusual, by the way.
he sees him as a Roethlisberger type.
Sure.
Is that where? Do you feel the same? Do you feel different? What stood out about Allen for you?
I think Allen's the prototypical NFL quarterback, size, arm strength. I think that also the Browns are looking for Carson Wentz, except he was already drafted 2 years ago.
Okay, all right, looking for that Wentz replacement. So
Naking.
we're on to round 2, Dave. Okay, your New York Giants are on the clock. Who do you have as the second overall pick in the NFL draft?
The New York Giants select Saquon Barkley.
Wow. All right. Now, see, I love that pick personally. Okay. I think Barkley is far and away the best player in this draft. I think he's a can't miss, and I think everybody else is a possibility of missing big. And I think that's a fantastic play. Now, Dave, real quick before we go down the line, does the lack of your offensive line now I know you added Solder in the offseason, concern you about drafting a running back so high right now?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I think you put the weapons around the guys you have in a win now league. That's what you got to do. And I just want to point out, this is a very interesting, quick little, how close the Giants have been to getting a star running back over the last several drafts. Okay. And this is the pick they had before. Okay.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, the pick that was before their pick.
Before their pick, right.
Right. In 13, Le'Veon Bell, 1 pick ahead. In 15, they picked Eric Flowers. The next pick was Todd Gurley. That's fucking stings.
Yeah, that
In
does.
16, they picked Paul Perkins. The next pick, Jordan Howard. And in 17, they took Davis Webb, and the next pick the pick before was Kareem Hunt. So they can't fuck this up again. They got to take Barkley.
Okay, and looking to capitalize on like a last 2-3 years maybe of Eli, give him a big shot at that window. Okay, good.
Odell, Ingram, Shepard, Barkley, do it to me.
Des Bryant.
Des Bryant, the X Factor.
Nick, pick 2, round 2, the New York Giants select
Saquon Barkley.
Boom.
Saquon Barkley. So you
Stud.
and Dave agree.
He's a stud. Pick him, move on. Let's go.
Okay, easy. Jeff, round 2, pick 2, the
Let's
Giants.
go fast, Pat Sajak.
I've got them going quarterback here at number 2. I've got them taking the USC quarterback, a la Sanchez, coming to New York, playing for the New York Football Giants this time, not the Jets. Sam Darnold.
No chance.
Now, he was previously discussed in our mock as one of the safest plays here.
Yes.
Is that beneficial that he can sit behind Eli for a couple of years, or is this going to cause a quarterback controversy of a guy who's ready to go?
No, I agree. Here's my perspective, though. My perspective is you're number 2. You're the New York Football Giants. And as much as it pains me to say it, because my team picks in the top 10 more often than not in the last decade, they're never there. And so if you're there and you have a quarterback that's in the twilight of his career, the opportunity to grab another franchise quarterback, even if he has to sit for a year or two, a la Aaron Rodgers, you have to do it. I understand Saquon Barkley is a transcendent player. I get it. And if you grab him, maybe you do scratch out another run at a Super Bowl. But if you grab Darnold, you could be setting yourself up for the next 15 years.
I get it. Last time they were here, they took Eli.
Yeah, I think they're too smart of a franchise than to shoot.
Well, they didn't actually take Eli.
Okay, noted. They traded him. They were in the top 5 to
Eli,
Jeff's point.
Papa Manning bitched his way.
Here we go.
Like right to the orgasm.
Here we go.
All right, pick 3, round 3.
No, round 1.
Round 1, pick 3. That's
Pick,
what
what pick is this?
guys, I'm the moderator. I think I know what round it is. All right. Pick 3.
Give me the chimes. Give them to me.
Jeff, the New York Jets select.
With the 3rd pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Baker Mayfield, quarterback, Oklahoma.
Sean just fucking threw up in his mouth.
And Jeff, what attracts you?
Jeff just threw up in his pants.
What does Baker do for you that thinks he's the right fit for your team that's been searching for a quarterback since, and I'm going to say it, before Joe Namath?
Wow.
Here's the deal with Baker. Here's the deal with Baker. And this is why I know he's not going to end up being a Jet, and it's going to drive me nuts. The kid's literally worked for everything that he's got. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's walked on. He won the Heisman Trophy. He's had a ridiculous amount of success. There's something to him. I really believe that he has the ability to buckle down and work hard to get to where he wants to be. Now, he has off the field issues, just like a lot of these other guys have other issues. He's my guy. I have made no bones about it for the last 9 months since he went into Ohio State and planted a flag in the middle of their field. I thought he was the best player in college football. I'm sticking with it. If my team has the ability to draft him at 3, nothing would make me happier. I would buy a jersey before he takes a snap.
If I appreciate nothing else, I appreciate your conviction here. So I'm glad that you've bought into him. I'm excited for you. I hope it works out for you. Nick, round 1, pick 3, the New York Jets select
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Is there anything about different than what Jeff sees in him?
No, he said it. He said it. No, I think he said that his personality, when you look at his type of personality, he only fits in a certain type of a market. I think he's perfect in New York. If you said he's going to go to Indianapolis or some place that's kind of in the Midwest, I don't think he fits in that market. I think when you throw him into New York,
Broadway,
he's gonna eat it up, and I hope he becomes a bust. But I think he'll go to the Jets.
Okay, Dave.
Sam Darnold.
They take Sam Darnold. Okay, so do you?
Wow, he fell from 1 to 3.
Does he fit the mold in which Nick described him before as the safe player in this draft for the Jets? Are the Jets making, rather than going with the riskier Baker Mayfield, in I think on the field and off the field concerns with him? Not that Baker has off the field concerns, just his personality. Is Darnold the safe play here for them?
He's viewed as probably the most NFL ready quarterback potentially in the draft. One of, if not the. And so I think he's available. He's going back to New York.
Okay.
Jets, not the Giants.
Can I just jump in here real quick? Just
No.
It's about the Jets.
Otherwise, we're never going to get through the top 10.
It's the only thing I'm gonna jump in on. If they draft him, he's maybe the only quarterback on the board. I would still get behind it, but I'd be disappointed. And I know if Sean were here, he'd tell me I'm a moron, but that's the truth.
Pac-12 players are soft, notoriously.
You're good with Mayfield there. You're good with Allen there. You're good with Rosen there. You're just a little blah about
What
Darnold.
about Mason Rudolph?
Okay, round 4.
All right, coming back.
Round 1. It's still round 1, Brad.
Yeah, but in our round,
In our snake draft,
round 4.
Okay.
Okay, round 4, pick 4 of round 1.
Oh my God!
Dave.
What?
carry
The Cleveland in
Cleveland.
the odd occurrence again. Cleveland up again. Pick 4. What do they got?
The Cleveland Browns select from NC State, Bradley Chubb.
Wow.
Fantastic. So they're going to go defensive end here.
They are going to have the stud defensive end. I mean, they're going to have stud defensive ends.
Now what attracts you to the pick on defense? Because for me, Cleveland, I think, should go Saquon Barkley number 1 overall, and then take whatever quarterback shakes down to them at 4. So I'm looking offense. I'm loading up offensively. You flip this on its ear and go, let's go stud, both sides of the ball. Is that such a pressing need? Is every other analyst overlooking the defensive side?
I think that the New York Giants have shown that if you pressure the quarterback, you make a difference in the game.
I've never seen that happen for the Giants.
Okay. So I think if you can get pressure and have Bradley Chubb and Myles Garrett.
He'll give you a Chubb.
Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, Bradley Chubb.
No, the other guy.
Miles Garrett, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are beat.
The other big stud.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's where they go.
Okay. Makes a lot. Jesus. Okay.
Wow. You all right?
No, I'm just, it's Dylan Betances is so bad at baseball. It's not even fun. Nick, round 1,
Good job.
pick 4 for you. Cleveland's going to take.
Bradley Chubb.
Okay. So anything that you want to add, or can we just
he's
move
just
on?
a stud. Just take him and move on.
Okay, Jeff, round 1, pick 4.
Use
Cleveland,
that analysis.
Cleveland takes.
Here I'm going with in round 1, pick 4. You remember I gave the quarterback to them before. I gave Allen to them before. I've got Saquon Barkley going to Cleveland here.
Oh, I forgot you didn't pick him yet. Okay, that's good. That's
All
good.
right.
4. So they're going
so-
to go quarterback and running back here.
You agreed with me. So pick 5. Let's start this pick. Is Buffalo via Denver. Buffalo is going
Hey,
to take.
for me.
Yes, for you.
Yeah. I have a trade here. That's not actually on the board, but I.
Oh, so you've moved them up.
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
This is
This didn't happen yet. Yeah.
the trade that I have. I think Buffalo swaps both of their first rounds this year, maybe something additional to get to that 5 slot. And this is where I think they take the other quarterback on the board. I think they take Josh Rosen.
I think Rosen sucks. I still stand by that.
Nothing has changed.
Let's once we get out of the top 5, let's do like a speed round.
Or let's
Okay.
just take a pause after 5 and maybe not do the bottom 5.
No, we have
Okay,
to.
let's do top 5. We could do top 5.
Bad.
You fucking dick.
We got a caller who wants to check in.
Who's this handsome guy with a beard?
I don't know that he wants to check in. Chris, do you want to check in? Do you have something you want to say?
No, he's just hanging out. All
He
right.
just wants to watch.
All right, it's my turn.
Chris.
Okay, Nick.
Chris is the man I was talking about earlier, so we can all give him a nice little-
Cheers.
Oh, voyeuristic, Chris. Fucking creep.
So Nick, you do not have Buffalo via Denver.
No, I actually do.
You do. Okay.
man.
Jesus.
I swear to God, I wrote that down, but I have them selecting Josh Allen, not Josh Rosen.
I can't believe you guys made the same pick back to back.
And a Billy.
All right, Dave. You are not Buffalo via Denver.
I am not Buffalo via Denver. I think Denver is in need of a quarterback as well, and they are going to take Josh Rosen here.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Why would they trade with Buffalo? What would Buffalo possibly offer them that would? There's a big Barkley's going to be in there. There's 4 big quarterbacks we all talk about. Barkley's going somewhere there. So that means one of those quarterbacks is going to fall to a team that desperately needs a quarterback. Why would they trade out?
For multiple first round picks. That's why they trade. That's why
I don't think they desperately need a quarterback right now. If they're not in love with these quarterbacks, they have Case Keenum. I mean, who's a stopgap player. They could always draft someone next year if they're not in love with any of the guys this year. You never know what's going on in their war room.
they're also in a spot where John Elway's pretty smart. So like if he can turn, the 5th pick in the draft into 2 first-round picks, and he can stock up on some linemen or a wide receiver or whatever, and
Because that team has more than one need.
Now, where do those Buffalo?
He overpays for everything all the time because they're fucking Buffalo.
Yeah, 'cause
Where do
that's what you
those
gotta
picks? Where was Buffalo? So where would
12. They're 12.
So they're down at 12. Okay.
They're 12 and
12 and 22 is where they're at.
12 and 22.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be the entire package. Probably wouldn't. There'd probably be some later garbage picks thrown in there, but I think that if they do make the swap, they got to give up both of them.
Right.
I'm going to go on the record real quick and say Buffalo still has the 12 and the 22nd, and I still could see the Giants taking those 2 picks further back because there's a lot of good players that they could clean up on. Unless they really are totally sold on like one of these guys on the top and they're all in, and that's that.
You think that those 2 picks are enough to?
No, they'd have to give up another pick next year too.
No, they're going to get something else other than that. But to get those 2 picks, I think that would help. But
For the Bills to move up from 12 to 2, they'd have to give up a first round next year too.
of course. I mean, I was just talking about these 2 picks this year.
I'll put it this way: if as the Giants, if you can get 2 first-round picks this year and first-round pick next year, you give that pick up.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wouldn't because we're in a different spot, but I think you would have to.
Yeah.
Right. Now, as exciting as this is, guys, do we want to move on? Do we want to do?
Let's do a speed round here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No analysis. Just go run off names.
Okay. Fine. Who are we starting with? Dave.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dave.
I got Indy taking out of Georgia, Roquan Smith, inside linebacker.
Okay. Great. From Georgia. Fantastic. Okay, Nick. Go ahead.
I have the Colts taking Minka Fitzpatrick, safety corner from Alabama.
Great. Fantastic pick. Jeff, go ahead.
I have Chubb going here.
You have Chubb going 6. All right. Well, what about 7? The Tampa.
That's where I got Minka Fitzpatrick going because
Okay.
Tampa is where cornerbacks live.
Tampa 2.
I got the Bucks taking Derwin James, the stud safety from Florida State.
That's the great stud safety from Florida State. Dave.
I got Minka here for the Bucks.
You've also got Minka going. Okay. Well, what about 8? Dave, did the Bears?
The Bears take Quentin Nelson out of Notre Dame.
Of course, a fantastic guard.
Same
Nick.
here. Quentin
Nick,
Nelson.
Quentin, Jeff.
Across the board, make
Make it
it
a 3P. Turkey.
definitely a turkey.
Okay.
Nice bowling reference.
Jeff, pick 9. San Francisco 49ers with Jimmy G back there.
I'm going defense here. They're taking the linebacker Smith out of Georgia.
Wow. Great.
Roquan Smith, same thing.
Nick, Roquan. All right. So are we going original here or not? What do you got, Dave? Roquan's
I had Roquan 3 picks ago, if you were paying attention.
Okay. Fantastic.
But I'm going to compliment Richard Sherman, Denzel Ward from Ohio State.
Wow. Yes. Big fan. What about
Last spot.
last
I got
round?
the Raiders taking Derwin James from Florida State.
Fantastic. And he plays.
Safety.
Okay, he's a safety. Nick, who do you
I got
got?
them picking Tremaine Edmonds, the outside linebacker from Virginia Tech.
Ooh, I like that. He's a stud.
Great. And the Raiders are going to take Jeff.
Denzel Ward, cornerback at Ohio State.
All right.
I just want to point out real quick before you close it out, I have at 11 the Dolphins, just because this would be interesting to Nikki and Jeff. I've got the Dolphins taking Baker Mayfield at 11.
Oh, I'd fucking kill somebody.
I'm hoping there's a pot video that comes out with him in 2 nights where he's smoking a bong and he falls all the way to 11.
Who do you have the Dolphins taking? Because that's important to you. Who do you have?
Well, this is the worst case scenario because I picked all the guys that I would want them to draft. So I have them taking Josh Rosen at 11.
I don't think he slips that far, my friend.
Either.
I think Rosen sucks.
Either him or that big fat Vita Vea from Washington, that D tackle.
I have them taking Christian Kirk, the wide receiver from A&M, to replace your boy who went on to Cleveland.
I don't think they'll do that. They already have Amendola. They have too much resources in wide receiver. They have too many other needs.
Right.
I think.
Oh yeah, they filled Landry's spot with Danny Amendola.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah, same thing.
It's
You gonna
like
start calling him Danny, like all the Pats fans?
Danny Playoff.
His name's Danny Playoff Amendola.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but he can't beat Danny playoff if you don't make the playoff.
Yeah, I just want to
Danny
say the rest,
Playoff concussion
all right, so
Amendola.
just
as
like
hold on, Brett. As if the rest of the league needed a reason to hate the Patriots more. You were in a lose-lose situation because if you won another Super Bowl, we'd all hate you. But you fucking lost to the Eagles, and now we got to hear that shitbird fucking organization
That
run their
sucks.
mouths.
that sucks. Hey, listen, you get to so many Super Bowls, you're going to lose a couple.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Are we done with the NFL draft?
Yeah, it was great. That was awesome. Guys.
All right, we got to move on to the National Basketball Association, much to Yampo's chagrin.
All right, I'm gonna take a nap.
We've got the playoffs.
Dave, you should have moderated this segment.
Great job, by the way, moderating that segment. That was-
I feel like a good moderator.
we got the Sixers looking just dope. Ben Simmons is just
Fantastic.
like
Absolutely fantastic.
yeah,
Player.
just has turned out to be what they really were hoping that he would probably be throughout the entire thing.
They are who we thought they were.
And I think they're a dark horse to maybe get to the finals. To be honest,
Absolutely. Could not agree more.
mostly because I think the LeBrons look like dog shit.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I think is. They're the 4 seed, right? The Cavs, which is absolutely insane. Like, no team with LeBron should be the 4 seed in the East.
Except
Coming from
Fucking sweat LeBron James. It's so ridiculous.
coming from there, those signals were pretty clear that this Cavs team just doesn't really have it. And LeBron usually can put them on their back in the playoffs. But you've just seen the way this round has gone with the Pacers. And it's like, I don't think they have much gas left if they're even able to make it out of this round.
No.
So
Playoffs.
playoffs, huh? Are you kidding me? Playoffs?
I think
Is
the
it really-
Sixers look fantastic.
Is
Jeff.
there really anything to talk about except for the fact that the Wizards somehow have managed to fucking
Ours,
tie
baby.
this series up?
I think the Zards might win the series.
That'd be
Zards.
incredible. I would love that.
I think they might.
The 8th seed.
I think they might. I think the East is wide open. And mostly I think it's wide open to lose whoever comes out of the West. So
I don't think the West is guaranteed to the Warriors by any stretch of the
don't
imagination,
either.
but I guess we'll get there in our debate.
Well, why don't we do that now? We held off last week on it. Yampo has absolutely no stock in this whatsoever. He can moderate this one if he wants, the debate between the three of us, or he can just go get a beer, whatever works.
Or you guys could just fucking keep talking.
All right, so let's do it. So for weeks now, we've been arguing. Well, I guess for well over a year now, we've been arguing about the debate between James Harden, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook for who should be the most valuable player in the league. Last year, I was adamant that it was Westbrook because he had done something that hadn't been done in a million years by Oscar Robertson, averaging a triple-double. He did something this year that has never been done. He averaged a triple-double in back-to-back seasons. So I'm going to
Belly to belly.
Thank you. I'm going to take Russell Westbrook as my guy to argue why he should be the MVP. Brett, you are taking.
James Harden.
And Nick, you are taking.
LeBron James.
All right.
You don't want to ask me?
Yeah, but you are taking.
Who cares?
That's a new sound drop.
Yeah, we don't have that one. So, who wants to lead off? Anybody want to take the first pitch here?
We don't do that segment anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Go ahead, Jeff. Give
All
me
right.
Westbrook.
So here's the deal, right? When you bring up basketballreference.com, it gives you an entire breakdown of all their statistics for the year. So let's just give you this point. Russell Westbrook played 36.4 minutes per game. He played more minutes by just 1 minute than James Harden, and he played 0.3 minutes less than LeBron. So we can all agree, wash, correct?
Sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they
Just
played-
based on the amount of time they all stood on the court. Yeah.
Good job. Westbrook averaged a triple-double. As I said, the only time this has ever happened in back-to-back years.
In the belly to belly.
He averaged 25 points. He averaged 10 assists and 10 rebounds. Okay. You look at the guys that you're comparing them to. Harden had more points than he did. He averaged 30 points, which is Jordan-esque, but he only had 5.5 rebounds a game, and just shy of 9 assists. When you look at LeBron, 27 points per game, so in the same ballpark, 9 assists and 8 rebounds. Closer, but still not the triple-double. This guy, he did it, and nobody's done it before. He's doing something that nobody's ever done before. And here's my biggest plea for why he should be the MVP. He's playing on a team that is not very good, and if you took him off of it, you'd have Carmelo Anthony, who stinks on ice, and
On the hardwood, actually.
and an NBA player that is succeeding in Paul George. So if you took him off, if you took Russell Westbrook off this team, you would essentially have last year's New York Knicks team, and they didn't come close to sniffing the playoffs. Westbrook played 80 games. He's your MVP. Lock it up.
All right. I'm going to look beyond tradition. I also went to basketballreference.com. But I started to look into the advanced statistics and the advanced metrics. And I think it's pretty clear once you look at them that James Harden is far and away the MVP of the league. Aside from the fact that that Kobe Bryant said that James Harden should be the MVP this year. That is neither here nor there. Just a legend talking about a current MVP. No big deal.
He didn't say that while he was in Colorado, did he? He was.
I do not know. First of all, player impact estimate. It's pretty much for players who have the ball in their hands majority of the time. It tells us how well a player stuffs the stat sheet when they're on the court relative to other participants. Harden led the league in player impact estimate at 19.5. James was second with 19.1. From there, we can
That's a thin margin of impact stat stuffing.
It absolutely is, but he led the league in it. The second category, he led the league in player efficiency rating. It's a measure of per minute production, which is standardized so that the league average is 15. Harden averaged 29.8. So he was double the per minute production of an average player on the floor throughout the year. I think that's
God, this is fucking infuriating.
Usage percentage, an estimate of the percentage of team plays used by a player while he was on the floor. Harden led the league in that stat as well. He led the league on offensive win shares, an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player due to his offense at 11.6. So he contributed for the most wins for their players, for his team on offense, which I think is a pretty significant stat for an MVP. Win shares, the estimate of number of wins contributed by a player, led the league in that. Win shares per 48 minutes led the league in that. And lastly, box plus minus. It's pretty much a box score estimates of the points per 100 possessions a player contributed above a league average player. 10.9 led the league in that. He's just a better player. It's pretty clear. So my vote.
So
is
Billy
for
Bean
James Harden.
takes.
Billy
That's good.
Billy Bean takes over the Houston Rockets.
I don't know.
Also, real quick, this was a stat. It was just from March. It was from the end of March. But Russell Westbrook's team, when he took 18 or more field goals, they were 22 and 25. When he took 17 or less, they were 14 and 2 for a win percentage of 875 versus 468.
Yeah,
So probably doesn't behoove Russell.
I'd be interested to hear how many assists he had in those games. Because the guy averaged a triple-double. I know your guy only scores points, but my guy, he puts up stats in every category.
And it doesn't help his team.
I know that's not some Fugazi random, BS stat that somebody developed in their mom's basement, says the guy sitting in his own basement. but you know, these stats have driven basketball for years, you know, points, assists, and rebounds. So Nikki,
Certainly.
LeBron James, go.
LeBron James. One of the things I look at is efficiency ratings, which takes into account his 54% field goal percentage, which is 9% higher than Harden and Westbrook. And I know that's because he drives to the hoop more, which is fair. He's not as good of a shooter as Harden and Westbrook, but when it comes to efficiency, he drives to the hoop. He can post up. He could shoot from outside. He can play point guard. He does everything across the board. And the big thing for me is he plays the best defense in the league. I think when you put him against anyone, he will shut them down. Another thing that I looked at, he has the least amount of turnovers among the three. So Harden and Westbrook turn the ball over slightly more than LeBron James. I think that matters. And like you said, Jeff, about Westbrook, if you take him off the Thunder, if you take LeBron off the Cavs, the next highest rated stat guys aren't even on the team anymore. So besides Kevin Love, you have Isaiah Thomas and Dwayne Wade still registering above everyone else that's on the roster, and they're not even on the team anymore. So I think that just shows how much of a shit roster the Cavs have. They would be worse than the Brooklyn Nets if LeBron James was not on that team.
Don't be ridiculous.
What was the stat for how hard LeBron quit for 6 weeks in the middle of the year because he didn't have the players he wanted around him?
What is that called? Is that
was there a number for that? Did that
IQUIT?
Yeah, did that measure into the metrics?
That was, give me the clipboard. I'm going to draw a play up.
I'm just saying that doesn't signify MVP to me.
What was the stat, Brett, that they had in Houston when they signed the best point guard in the league to play alongside James Harden?
Oh, so James Harden can't control who he plays around. Michael Jordan, that's Scottie Pippen.
Right?
Was that the I can't do it on my own? So
right. I need someone that actually plays defense when I let guys run right by me to the hoop.
I just find it really hard to vote for a guy for the MVP award when a teammate of his is like the second or third person that you also could vote for the MVP award. I think the MVP award has to have a little bit more bite to it. And I agree with you. Harden's had a ridiculous year and he's awesome. But if you took him off that team, maybe they wouldn't win 65 games, but they'd probably win 58. And so if you take Westbrook off that team, they probably win 20. And if you take LeBron off of his team, they probably win 20 as well.
You think a team with playoff P and Carmelo Anthony wins 20 games in the NBA?
Carmelo Anthony's done.
And Paul George?
He is donezo. Done.
Paul George isn't as good as Chris Paul.
Not even close.
Nobody's saying that. I'm just saying 20 games.
Yes. I've watched it, dude. I watched it for the last 5 years. He's trash. It's over.
I'm not defending Melo, but I think Paul George was a very integral piece of the Indiana Pacers, who actually got better, which is surprising, but still a very good player. And I think him with a side piece of Carmelo Anthony's corpse could probably lag a team to 30 games at least.
The important part about that is, as long as we all stay mellow, we're in good shape. Let's close the segment out because
I have such a headache.
If you were starting a team, and I understand that age matters here. If you were starting a team and you had to pick between one of those three guys to start the team, Nick, who would you pick?
Russell Westbrook.
Brett, who would you pick?
How old are they? How old is?
Not right now.
Oh, yeah. How old are they?
You're asking their actual ages.
Not LeBron, Harden, and Westbrook.
I think they're comparable because didn't they come in the league around the same time with the Thunder?
Yeah,
I just know LeBron's significantly older than the
LeBron's older than them, but it's not it. It is what it is. LeBron has more miles. I don't know their exact ages. I don't have it on me. But if you had
all right, and give me James Harden.
You would take Harden.
Yeah,
I think I would take Westbrook, but I know I would take him last year. I don't know that I would still not take LeBron right now. I really don't.
What about me?
Dave, who would you take?
Well, I've been thinking about this for a long time while you guys have been babbling. Charles Oakley.
Good pick.
Patrick Ewing.
Good pick.
Patrick Ewing.
Good call. All right, let's move on from the association.
Woo!
The NHL. We've got a couple minutes to talk the NHL here before we.
Why bother? It's over. It's over, Johnny.
Well, it's over for the Devils, but
sweep the leg.
Give me a D.
Here's the thing. There's only one intriguing matchup for me in the East, and quite frankly, the West is on a different level with the teams that are left over there. I mean, Nashville, Las Vegas. I'm not sure what to think of San Jose. I think they just overmatched Anaheim, who wasn't very good. But the West is more scary to me than the East. And the Pittsburgh Cap series for the third year in a row in the second round, we're going to see if the Capitals are worth a shit. If they lose this one,
They will be. They're going to win.
I mean, they've played the Penguins. I was reading the stat the other day. They played the Penguins 10 times in the playoffs. They've only won twice, and the 5 cups that the Penguins have won, they've had to beat the Caps every time.
I actually think this is their easiest year. I actually think they're going to beat them most soundly this time.
I also said the other night about the Devils losing to Tampa. It didn't really matter because Boston, I think, is better than Tampa. I'm surprised at how well Toronto is.
I think Toronto's got probably the best offense in the East, don't you? Not the best team, but I think they're the best offensive.
No, I think Tampa has the best offense.
You think so?
They're so fast, man.
Just because they're fast doesn't mean they're a good offense. Gary Sanchez just murdered a ball.
What did you say, Jeff?
I am Gutty.
I can't hear you because these two assholes are fucking talking about a baseball game that's on TV.
I said Tampa is just super duper fast.
Yeah, they're super fast. They got a 100-point guy on the team, Kucherov.
Oh,
Lord comes up with they got Kunitz. I just think Tampa. I mean, now listen. Here's the other thing. I was thinking the other day, oh shit, there's 5 teams from the Metro that made the playoffs, but the 3 teams that made it from the Atlantic are pretty fucking good. They all had over 100 and something points.
100 points, yeah.
So, anyway, should be a fun, entertaining. If you never watched a hockey game before, a playoff series game 7 is about as good as it gets.
Is it poor form since they have no history right now to announce that my Western Conference team is the Vegas Knights, and that's who I'm rooting for the rest?
No, not at all. I think
Did you watch that intro video before they took the ice for Game 1?
Bonkers.
I mean, that was. I want them to run through a wall.
No, they got to be our adopted team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's root
Here's just something to keep in mind, though. By the way, just real quick,
right?
Because those games are on late, and I doubt that any one of us watched it more than a period or two.
Right.
They only beat the Kings. They swept them.
Yeah, but it was like 1-0.
They only beat them twice, 1-0.
Yeah.
Hey, so it's all it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's all it takes. They didn't 8-1 teams like San Jose did to Anaheim multiple times. So whatever. They've also had a layoff for quite some time.
True.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I root for them.
Mr. Momentum might have taken a little time off, right?
Mo money, momentum.
All right, we'll see.
Is that the song?
All right, let's go to baseball. We've got.
Well, we already did. Fucking Brett's been talking about the game the whole fucking show.
Well, did you want to talk Yankees or do you want to?
No, just I have one thing to say. Sonny Gray needs to get his shit together.
Yes.
Because if he comes, he's just gonna unwind at the seams.
I've got one thing to say.
Yeah.
You've got to get your fucking internet together.
Okay, terrific. No, he does stink though. He's looked real bad.
It's too early. You know, you can't win the division in April.
But you can lose it. I thought he was not that impressive last year, though, to be honest with you. Like the Sonny Gray thing.
He was okay last year.
Not like, oh, thank God we got Sonny Gray. Like it's not. I don't know.
Considering that the Astros got Verlander, who has been 10 times better.
Yeah, what's up with Cespedes? Why can't he get out of the Mets doghouse?
Because he's on my fantasy team, so he's going to be shitty all year, and then next year he'll be fine again.
He'll probably get hurt at some point too.
Oh, definitely. I have 7 players on the DL right now. Nobody cares about my fantasy team, but
Too
I'm
much
just saying,
muscle.
Yeah,
7 players.
And what's up with the Red Sox torrid start?
They're a good ball club, man.
Mookie Betts is having an early MVP season.
You know, Chris Sale goes out there every 5th day and just fucking rakes.
Yeah, but we know by
league.
August, Chris Sale will fade off.
I'm just saying it.
Pronounced Chris Sale.
Yeah,
he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, in my opinion. So I don't know.
Oh, your opinion sucks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but David Price is still the Yankees' bitch.
Yeah.
Hang on, bartender. Give me one more of those scotch and Peptos. I got a case of squirts, but I still want to drink.
All right. Around the world of sports, what have we missed? Let's start with Maryland. Mr. Yampo, what have we not addressed tonight that we need to close out our show with?
Well, in an attempt to be culturally relevant and hip with the kids,
you're hip. You're with it.
Meek Mill, straight out of prison.
R.I.P. Sorry.
straight out of prison, straight to the Sixers game.
Perfect.
Some would argue that's the same place.
More or less. I mean, it's equally as fucking brutal, but he's ringing the bell at the beginning of the Sixers game. Guy just got let out of prison like 8 hours ago.
Good. What was he in prison for? Do we even?
America. I don't know.
He was in prison for America?
No. I'm just saying this is America.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Parsippany Nikki.
Oh, he was also wearing a Joel Embiid jersey.
Embiid. The guy's name is Embiid.
Yeah, there's a couple of L's in there.
No, there's not. No, there's not. There's not.
Don't tell me.
No, I just did. Nikki, what do you got?
I got nothing.
Okay. Check out sausysavings.com.
Brett,
what do you got?
Listen, you got shitty recipes that you need to freeze and send down here.
Yeah, and you're going to eat them on the show.
This is going to be amazing.
Good.
Send me a beer in exchange.
I'll send you something in exchange.
All right.
Boy, I don't know what to say about that.
Come on.
Picture for your collage back there, Palio.
Hello.
Okay.
These hot guys.
Brett, what do you got?
Have no fear, guys. I don't want any of you guys to worry in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, good.
Rob Gronkowski has informed Bill Belichick he will be playing for the Patriots this season.
God damn it.
Contrary to Peter King about 5 hours ago, saying he's pretty sure Gronk was either going to retire or play for somebody else.
Peter King.
So, yeah, he's back. And oddly enough, this is weird too. Tom Brady's going to play for the Pats this year too.
I thought he was retiring. All those reports.
It's just like it's really weird.
I got
fake news.
Jeff, I got one more thing for you because what Brett was just talking about Peter King and whatnot reminded me of how much I fucking hate the sports media, and we talked about that at length on here. And having been someone who worked with some of those people, there are some great people in the business, but there are also some terrible ones. I was talking to someone over the weekend at an event who was a former director of PR for a professional football team, to remain nameless. And we spent a good hour after I drank about 5 margaritas just bashing sports media trolls and all these assholes who look for handouts and people creating fake fucking stories and how he used to have to deal with them. It was entertaining. I thought of you. You would have loved it. You would have been right at home.
You had that stuff happen all the time.
What do you mean, me? Me?
No, I'm saying in general. I mean, you see this crap get floated around, and not for nothing. This is for all of us. You do not believe anything you read between now and Thursday night about the draft.
Except for our mock drafts. Believe those.
No,
Those are legit.
Those are built off of a cornerstone of truth.
Then you have some random guy from Colorado blowing a story about the Browns taking Baker Mayfield first overall. That's not going to happen.
Ugh. All right, I got to end with some bad news here. For your Michigan State Spartans here.
Oh God.
Larry Nasser.
You
know where I'm headed with this. So apparently, according to the Associated Press, Michigan State University, already reeling from the scandal involving a gymnastics doctor who molested young athletes, has maintained ties to a prominent volleyball coach for decades after he was publicly accused in '95 about sexually abusing and raping 6 underage girls he trained in the 1980s. Seriously, like, how can one university get it so wrong in so many areas? I mean, this is like we as a country just destroyed Penn State for the nonsense that Sandusky did in the blind eye that they turned to it. To me, honestly, this is at least comparable, if not worse.
So I want to go ahead. I want to point out one thing though, real quick, about Nasser. I don't know anything about the volleyball guy yet, but I was watching a Dateline thing on, I think, Friday or some point over the weekend, and it was specifically about Bella Carolli.
No, Stacy Carosi.
Oh, Stacy Carosi, Saved by the Bell.
Right.
Season 2.
That was
anyway, point being, Nasser, he was like, everything he was doing was at the gymnastics shit, right? And I don't think when he got kicked out of there and it was shady shit from USA Gymnastics kind of letting him go, but not really reporting why they were letting him go. Nobody told Michigan State. Nobody informed the state of Michigan. Nobody told Michigan State. So I'm not saying Michigan State didn't know what was going on. At some point in that like small window of time, someone had to know, and they are totally responsible. But I was shocked to find out that guy could be let go for what he did hat.
and that not carry over.
I just keep going back and then just go back to Michigan State and like keep doing it there without anybody knowing. Supposedly, I get somebody had to know, but I just thought that was odd.
Here's the problem. The problem is in those types of programs, as you know, because
Somebody had to know.
I mean, come on.
No, I know. I'm not absolving the university of responsibility. I'm just pointing out.
You don't get one job without having some connections that are between both jobs. So
The fact that guy went free after being accused of that shit at USA Gymnastics, they cut him loose and just let him go back to Michigan State is mind-boggling.
crazy. It's crazy. And then you add this volleyball accusation on top of it. Apparently, his accusers say that he threatened to use his national influence to thwart their college prospects if they didn't accept his unwanted advances. So, like, come on. Like, look, I get it. We certainly don't want to dominate this show with any kind of negative talk like this. But the bottom line is this stuff is throughout our entire society, and sports is in no way free from it happening there. And it's about time that the leaders that are in sports and that are outside of sports step up and say, this is just not acceptable. And if this is what you're going to do, not only are you not welcome here, but you're going to enjoy a cell and you're going to sit in it for the rest of your life. And that's the basic bottom line. We don't come to shows like this and we don't tune into sports to deal with any of this nonsense. And I understand that there's just as much nonsense in this as there is with any other walk of life. But the bottom line is the spotlight is on here. You got to get it right. And I'm not saying the Michigan State's alone. They're probably not, but they're the latest that are under the microscope, and it's time for them to address it and get it right.
And that's the bottom line.
Because
Jeff Coviello and Christopher Monaco said so.
Thanks for taking the time, everybody. We do appreciate it. Shout out to Monaco for hooking us up with some of the beer tonight. His boys came through in the clutch. Definitely enjoyed this one. And
thanks, Monaco.
Very big fan of that sovereign nation.
just a big thumbs up. Just
big fan of that China cabinet.
Good stuff. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next week.
Dear lady, across the desert lies the promised land. Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop. Adieu.
Yeah, it's my friend's podcast.
It's my friend's podcast.
Do you, my
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
How you doing?
For California, a place that I know where I'd well